guys, it's Crystal. So I have a quick little review for you. I said last week that I was going to talk to you guys about this product, and since then on Instagram I've gotten a lot of questions about it, and on here I've gotten a lot of requests to please hurry up with this video. So the review is going to be on the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1 foundation. Now my color is in warm beige. First I'm going to read to you from their website what they have to say about their product, and then I'm going to give you my review on this amazing drugstore foundation. So there are 19 different shades that you can choose from Ivory 805 all the way up to Soft Sable, and to make things even more convenient for those with darker skin, they have the Queen Collection 3-in-1 Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation. So that just makes it great for every single skin tone out there. So you can find all of this information on www.covergirl.com/beautyproduct/face makeup/foundation makeup/Outlast Stay Fabulous foundation. They say, all-in-one foundation with a long-lasting formula that fuses primer, concealer, and foundation in one easy step. The 3-in-1 formula provides a flawless look that lasts all day long. And if you check out the website, there are tons and tons of people commenting and rating this 5 out of 5 stars. So my experience was nothing but good with this foundation. I am extremely skeptical of drugstore foundations. Revlon is pretty much the only drugstore brand that I can wear on my face without breaking out like a madwoman. CoverGirl has never been kind to me. I like a couple lip products, but other than that, eyeliners, powders, nothing works with my skin without irritating me. So when I heard about this, I was extremely skeptical. However, I decided to purchase it. It was about $14, which I thought, you know, that's a lot for drugstore makeup. It's absolutely not a lot for this product. I cannot tell you how well this product did with my skin. Now, a little bit of backstory. For those of you who may be new to my channel or who may not have watched a video of mine in a long time, I have extremely sensitive skin. You look at me the wrong way and I will break out. Things tend to burn my skin a little bit easier that wouldn't burn the normal person's skin. So I get irritated super easily skin-wise. The CoverGirl Outlast 3-in-1 Stay Fabulous foundation was nothing but great from the beginning. I was extremely nervous about not wearing primer. My skin is oily, and that was a question on Instagram. Is it okay with oily skin? It's absolutely okay with oily skin. So the primer I wore for the first time with it was the Mirabella Prime. The reason being, I figure if you go cheap on foundation, you might as well wear a higher end primer. Same thing if you're going to do the opposite. If you're going to go cheap on the primer, wear a higher end foundation. That's just my opinion. That works for me, my sensitive oily skin. So anyway, I wore the Mirabella. Put this on, it glided on so easily. The actual color matched perfectly. Now, like I said, it has 19 different shades for the lighter spectrum. That blew me away. First and foremost, when I was standing there in the local Fred Meyer's looking at these foundations, I kept thinking there are so many to choose from. It's not just light, medium dark, and dark. It goes from Ivory, and then there's the Queen Collection, which has even more shades. So it's not specified like for oily skin, for combo skin, for dry skin. There are some brands that have the same makeup, but they'll have like an oily skin line, or they'll have like a dry skin line. So that made me a little bit leery because it's supposed to just fit everyone's skin. I tend to like when a drugstore brand, when any brand takes that extra time to tailor it to possibly, you know, dry skinned clients or oily skinned clients or combo skinned clients. So right there I thought that's where we're going to run into problems. It is not going to match my skin in terms of just the chemical, you know, compatibility. It did fine. Granted, I had my own primer on underneath. I did not set it with powder that first time. I usually set all my makeup with powder because of my oily skin, but I didn't that time. I went ahead and I wore it. That day I wore it for 8 hours. It didn't move. I'm so used to foundation moving or sliding a bit because of my oily skin. It didn't move. It stayed just as fresh. It stayed just as beautiful. It does give a little tiny bit of a dewy afterglow, especially if you don't set it with powder. So please be mindful of that. Oily sisters and brothers out there, just be aware of that. Now, the second time I wore it, I thought, you know what, I'm going to be brave and I'm not going to put primer on. And I didn't. You don't need primer with this. I know that's one of the things that I don't say hardly ever, but you really don't. Do I recommend it? I always recommend primer. Always, always, always. I don't care who you are, what you do, what foundation you're using. Use primer. This, though, however, you really don't need it. You can go ahead, not wear primer, and this is going to do its job. Why? It has primer in it. Now, the back of it says pretty much the same thing that the online description gave. However, the back of it says shine free, and I'll show you right there. It says shine free, if you can see that. That is the one thing that I noticed isn't 100%. It did give a little bit of shine. The second time I wore it, I didn't set it with powder. I just put the foundation on and I left. It did last. That was about a 4 to 6 hour day, I believe, and it was fine without primer. It did not move. It did not settle into creases or lines. I loved, loved, loved this. Now, I don't have a ton of creases or lines in my face. The lines I'm talking about are like my smile lines, and makeup does settle into that. Pretty much the only makeup that doesn't is my Chanel or my Armani. That's really good at staying above the skin. Any other makeup, from Makeup Forever to Lancome, will settle into my lines. This did not, and I'm talking about no primer, no powder, because it's all built into here. Concealer, let's talk about that. It says you don't need concealer. It does a great job without concealer. However, I have red pigmented skin. I'm a pinky, so if you have redder skin or bluer undertones to your under eye circles, I would still use a concealer no matter what. Even though it's supposedly built in, I really would stress using a concealer, only because I don't want you to be disappointed and automatically discredit this foundation. The concealer that I used, and I was extremely happy with that it went so well, was my Banish and Brighten by Laura Geller. And I tried a couple different concealers with this, and a lot of them go really nicely together. All of the ones I've tried went very well, blended very well. This foundation has that ability to just blend really nicely with anything else you put on. Now, the third time I wore it, I had to do an 8-hour shift at work, so of course I put my makeup on about an hour before that. You know, I wore it a couple hours after that. It was about a 12-hour day with my makeup on, and I typically don't do that anyways, just because I like to have my skin breathe a bit. This kicked some major butt. It lasted all day. I did set it with powder that day just to ensure it. Probably didn't need to be honest. It lasted all day. There's no touch-ups. You don't need touch-ups with this foundation. The concealer was great. Actually, my concealer started to wear off sooner than this foundation did. This 3-in-1 foundation plus, you know, concealer plus primer plus sunscreen really does its job. Now let's talk about the plus sunscreen. It's not going to photograph beautifully. Just telling you that right now. This foundation has SPF 20 in it, and it does have a good amount of sunscreen in it. If you look, you can request from CoverGirl the amounts and, you know, mils of everything in their products. It does have quite a bit of sunscreen in it. So if you're going to a wedding, or if you're going to be in a wedding or be someplace like a modeling or photography shoot, you don't want to wear this. It will reflect. Sunscreen reflects. You will get big shiny spots everywhere. So I'm going to show you on my hand just how great this is. Now, the packaging is a cool concept. It has a little lock, so you've got to turn it when you want to use it. And it's a pump mechanism. Okay. I never recommend using your hands. I always recommend using a sponge or a brush. But this shade really, really matches my skin. Now, you'll see it completely just gives me a nice canvas, and you can see the difference in my hands. All veiny on this hand, and this hand is completely covered beautifully. Beautifully. This foundation does such an amazing job covering. I would say it's a medium coverage foundation for those of you who kind of want that extra but may not want full. Definitely medium. It's not light, I'll tell you that much. So the cons. Only one con. It says that it's shine free, and I really don't feel that it is. It does give you a little bit of luminosity. It's certainly not a matte foundation, but it doesn't claim to be a matte foundation. It just says it's shine free. So it kind of is that gray area right there. I really love this. This foundation is one of my new favorites. I had actually bought a BB cream that same day. I bought the Rimmel BB cream, and both of these I was honestly expecting to just return, hate them. I have been wearing both of them now for about 2 weeks. Love both of them. I will be doing a review on this, although I don't know how many of you need it because this isn't a brand new product, so I'm sure there's a lot of reviews out there. I love it for my oily skin. But getting back to this, the only con really was the shine free. Even the price I can deal with. I normally don't like paying that much for a drugstore makeup, but $14 for this, and you get 30 mils, which is 1 ounce, which is your standard foundation bottle. I think it's great. This is glass, so if you don't want glass products or whatnot, it is heavy, it is glass. Just be mindful of that as well. Now, I know that they also have some matching concealers and whatnot, which I plan to try, but the 3-in-1 Stay Fabulous Outlast, please go try it. You will not be disappointed. And the cool thing with drugstore foundation, if you don't like it, you can return it. Most places you can return it. Macy's and Nordstrom have great return policies. Same thing with Fred Meyer's and Bartell's and Walgreens. If you don't like this foundation, just return it. It's 14 bucks. So I hope that you enjoyed this review, and I had a lot of fun trying this product because it is so nice, you guys. And you know me, I just am over the moon when I find a foundation that actually works with me, and let alone at $14. If you have an opinion on this, I would love to hear it or see it. Put it in a comment or a video response below, and let me know what the next thing you want to hear about is. Follow me on Instagram, which is right here at Crystal Seattle TV, same as my YouTube name, super easy. And I will talk to you guys in the next video.